Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today with Miko, leader of the GDEC group, and he's going to take us through what fits out an Expedition quad.
Yeah.
G'day Miko.
G'day Grant. I think founding member would be more accurate. Mate, what we're starting with is your bog standard Arctic Cat 700cc Super Duty diesel ATV, or as we Australians like to call it, a quad bike. Okay, these things are made in America. They're originally made for the military. They run on 7 grades of diesel, from crap all the way through. You had your clothes on. What we've done is actually then fitted them out for a little bit more heavy expedition work, the key of which is to being able to support yourself for about a week or more when you're out in the bush. Okay, so starting with this one, as you can see, we've got a lot more protective bar work on it. Okay, one of the key things for us, especially when you're out the front, is barging through some of the scrub. A bit of extra lighting, bits and pieces for cameras, GoPros and the likes. A winch is a standard fit item, but one of the key things underneath here is protection for the front CV boots. Okay, these things take a pounding, and as you can see in here, they're just a rubber boot that protects the constant velocity joint. So what we've done is made fiberglass and steel guards here to cover 2 boots either side. This is a piece of heavy duty rubber which articulates with the steering and then provides extra cover for that. You'll see also in here a 1-inch lift kit, which has actually just gotten the front end up an extra inch, and I'll explain why that's required in a little while when we get down to the back. Radiator protection, again, there's a good grate in front of that. Naturally we need a place to store all this stuff, so we generally fit storage boxes on. I'm one for trying to keep everything well and truly secured away from the elements, so we've got 2 big plastic boxes. Around here, of course, then catering on the nacelle up here, we've got all our additional 12-volt material. We've got a double USB port here, powering up your navigation gear. I'm running a tablet these days for navigation, running Aussie Explorer. Again, lights, a momentary switch letting you know what your voltage is at for the batteries, which is always crucial. And then I've got camper lights on the sides here. Back of the box is mounted the radio, UHF, and that generally runs into the helmet. A couple of extra side bags here just for bits and pieces, cameras, water bottles, whatever you're taking with you. Again, another big box for storage, and on top of that you can put lightweight loose items like a swag or your chairs, whatever goes into a bag. Get me out of the shit things like shovels and axes here. Bit of extra fuel. Another big difference here at the rear end. Now if you have a look over at yours, which is fairly standard, you put the tyre addition onto that. Where we've started here, because we're carrying extra load and we're expected to be out for 8 days or so, with heavier duty shocks and coils. Okay, these come off one of the side-by-sides, a prowler, and that automatically lifts the back of this up at about 50mm. Hence, that's why we've put the risers on the front to actually level the quad out. Heavier duty battery for a start. It's 32 amp hour, up from the 17 amp standard. Over here we've got a ARB compressor fitted off with another tank, storage tank up under here. Crucial, your tyre pressures are the most important things when you're out there and you're up and down all the time, depending on how many punctures you get. That's all operated through a manifold here with a couple of extra fittings, the pressure gauge and the stop valve. A tow bar bit. Again, the tyres are not standard, these are a 6-ply, so they'll take a fair pounding. They still get into their own difficulties, as you can see, but they're a lot stronger than the other bias ply, similar to what you've got on the back there as a spare. So apart from that, it's just really some heavier duty racking and bits and pieces to be able to cater for your fuel and the likes. And again, more protection here for the CV boots, mainly from the front, nothing at the back because the grass builds up. So again, around the front here we've got a solid piece to protect both the top and bottom CV boots. You're a lot less risk of backing into things than you have of running over them. And I think that's essentially it. A little bit of work, but all done, designed to not only get us there but to get us home as well. So, and that's what yours will end up looking like, I reckon, in about 6 or 8 months' time.
So fundamentally, what would you say is the #1 thing that you would need to really do?
Number 1, tyres.
Yeah.
You can always carry a compressor with you, but good quality tyres for a start. And equal to that is the CV boot protection, because once they get ripped, you know, you might only have, once that dust gets in, you know, you're starting to grind and chew out the boot, the joints.
And when you're doing your full on 7-day unplugged, disconnected, are you strapping anything else on anywhere?
Can you give me a rundown on what you've got here?
Okay. The Outback 700cc diesel.
Yes.
And on the front here, box for bits and pieces, all the cameras and whatever. All of this back here is equipment, food, bedding and tent. It's bulky but not too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Stacks of fuel on board, more cameras in the front here.
Yep.
Up here I've got my Aussie Explorer navigating to where we're going.
Right on.
GoPro camera, and over there my Garmin as well as a backup. So
Right.
We've got 2 systems here for redundancy.
Perfect, and we need that.
Yep.
And back here we have something important.
Yeah, lights for at night, obviously. Axe, recovery equipment, axe and shovel.
Axe
And then
shovel.
17 litres of fuel.
More. Okay.
So 57 and 10, 67 litres of fuel on, and we've each got 15 to 20 litres of water.
Wonderful.
You'll be generally carrying on here up to 40 litres of fuel either side here, nice and centrally located. Water I tend to put in the boxes in 5 separate containers so they can be split, so it can be 20 to 25 litres. I'm going to be trying to get that up the front now because that's underutilised, but generally that'll fit in the box. I don't like things hanging off, because if you're going through thick scrub it'll get torn off. That's the one thing you're trying to avoid.
Okay, so that's allowed you really now for the last few years to explore to your heart's content and really get unplugged and have a great time, eh?
Exactly right, mate. Getting right out there, seeing what no one else does.
And Arctic Cat as a quad itself versus a Japanese thing? What's your view?
Look, I can't, and I won't bag out the Japanese ones. This has been a great unit. The strength of this is it's a diesel. So we've got common fuels when we're travelling with our diesel vehicles here in Australia. A lot less risk of, a lot less volatility with the fuel. And also, simple fact, this is a cross-mounted engine, so the exhausts and that are to the rear, meaning we don't have a lot of problem with the spin effects and things that we do with the petrol motors. No risk of fire, reduced risk of fire.
Alright, well there you have it. You've heard it from the man himself. It's taken him a while, he's learnt from experience, but that's what he's got. That's the Expedition quad.